Indiana Penn State post-game live. Brad, the people heard my initial thoughts yesterday. The people haven't heard anything from you. I don't even know if you tweeted a thing since the Indiana Hoosiers walked into Beaver Stadium and walked out with their first win in program history. So I want to give the floor to you first off. First impressions coming out of that football game.
Initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts.
I mean, just what a iconic win. Basically, establishing a magical season, a magical run. It's really just, enjoy it as it comes. And yeah, that team was very similar to the Iowa game in the sense where it's like, I don't think that last year's team wins that game. And I think that's the main takeaway, that this team's different. They're on another level. They can win any game, any type of way, and just get the job done. And they've proven it against a very talented team, top 5 most talented roster in the country. Went to their place and got the job done against all the odds.
That's what preseason rankings are, is like how much perceived talent do you have? And on everybody's board, whether you're like perceived a grifter or not, like you had Penn State up there in the top 5. So yeah, I would echo that. Like that was a super talented team. And I think even just to the look at Mendoza versus Rourke, and as good as Rourke was last year, like they moved him to like 0.25% of the time last year. Like he would not have been able to get out of some of those things and make some of those plays that Mendoza was making yesterday. So I full blown agree with that.
Yeah, that's what we said in the offseason would be the big differentiator for this team and kind of take them to that next level. And we're seeing it. Man, it feels so good to be right, and just, nail all these tapes.
We got a lot of good tape, Brad.
Yeah, no, master of the eye test, man. We should print T-shirts.
I've been going back, and yeah, if you just want to listen to Brad 5 months ago.
Someone should pay me some money to do this. That'd be fun. But yeah, I think Penn State showed up like a playoff team that we expected to see them throughout most of this year. However, it just hasn't really shown up for them. And yeah, I think having Ohio State the previous week definitely had them ready to go for this one. And they definitely matched us in a lot of ways in terms of just the effort level, the athleticism, the strength, the speed. It was all matched, but, the better team came out on top, and Indiana found a way to get it done, despite making it really, really scary and a little too close for comfort. But an iconic catch from Omar Cooper, putting himself into, in terms of like Watford level, just IU lore of, just some of the great, most iconic moments. Definitely surpasses the Michael Penix moment, which is probably the biggest IU kind of single iconic moment to date.
I mean, in terms of maybe in terms of stakes, but like that they were the top 10 team in that Penix game versus we were the top 10 team in this game. So I don't know if it was bigger than Penix, but we definitely avoided disaster. The Fat Boy saying he lost his voice yesterday. Jackson Johnson's hovering in the chat. Shout out to Jackson Johnson. He's congratulating the boys. Fat Boy saying their fans showed up as well. I thought there was a lot of red.
Yeah, there's boots on the ground. A recurring guest, Coach Pundit, was in attendance, as long as with a couple mutual friends of ours. And yeah, they were right there on the Pundit was right there was able to see the kind of the touchdown, Omar Cooper, and he was right on it. He saw he was in right away. And sorry, John, despite all the, yeah, it was clear as day. Like watching it on TV live, I thought he was in. Just unbelievable to keep that right foot up and just drag the left. An unbelievable athlete. I think he just put himself day 2 in the draft, like lock wise, just with that play, just showing kind of what type of player he is and what he brings to the table. And yeah, I think Omar Cooper got himself a little paycheck, a little pay bump in terms of what his expected rookie earnings are going to look like.
I like that. Well, hell of a call on the field by the referee, who called it a touchdown on the field, which was
gotta give
unbelievably impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he was right on it. And yeah, getting that right and not blowing it in the moment. Because I don't know if you're able to, if they call it out on the field, they're probably not overturning that.
No, I don't think so. I think
I think it was pretty clear, but
It was pretty clear. There could have been conclusive evidence.
Yeah. I think they could have figured it out. But yeah, at least they didn't have to go there. So just amazing job by the referees, the line judge in the back of the end zone getting it right. Love to see it. And just I think I don't know how you're pushing back that it's a bigger moment than Penix. Like this is like a championship level run where they're probably going to whether or not they win the Big Ten. Like Final Four seems almost not going to say guaranteed, but very very likely, and that puts them.
I don't think the trajectory of this team, maybe nationally perceived, but the trajectory of the team doesn't change if they lost that game. Like it would have sucked, obviously, but like they still would have been a playoff team, and they weren't going to play for the Big Ten championship, and like they wouldn't have been able to achieve all the things they want to achieve and all like the things that we like to see. But I mean, even if they lost that game, like I feel like they still would have been fine. Like they're that's still a playoff team. But
I agree. I'm just saying.
I get it. I get why people would say that. But like I don't know. I don't know the last time Indiana's beaten a top 10 team like that.
They're gonna face the music again in this playoff run, and they're gonna have a lot more confidence going into it. And that's only a good thing for them to move further into January, playing football. So
I'll close the book.
How right was I? Jesus.
Well, I'll say I'll close the book on the Penix versus Cooper thing because like going into the game, I felt like Indiana was going to win. Going into that game back in 2020, while I was like confident in Indiana's football team, like Zach Osterman told us they were going to be a good football team. Like I wasn't 100% confident Indiana was going to win that football game, even right down to Penix reaching out. But every time Mendoza touched the football towards the end of that game, like I was pretty confident Indiana was going to he was going to figure out some way to get the ball down the field and into the end zone.
Yeah, it's still a bigger moment, like to win that
bigger
way
stage
on the road
later in the season. Yes, fans were there. Yes, like on the road. Yes, like there's an argument.
Moment. That is the biggest moment in IU football history, right there, in my opinion. And obviously, there's going to be bigger moments, I think, along the way, and just enjoy the ride and play along with it. Yeah, no, I'm going to stand by that take. It's the biggest, most iconic IU football moment to date.
That's fair.
Shout out Chuck Nasty, man. Charlie Becker.
Were you game flow wise? Were you surprised? Started out with 4 punts, 2-2 each.
No, that's exactly kind of what I was alluding to. I knew we'd break away scoring wise and be able to figure it out. Hence the 35-14 score prediction. But I said it in the preview. There's a very high likelihood it turns into an Iowa type game. And it was just a little bit more scoring to it. And yeah, Penn State showed up like how Penn State was supposed to throughout this year. The thing is that I think this is a point I want to make where it's to the point where if Penn State was 7-1 going into that game, I think the result is the same. And that is a great kind of thing to think about when you reflect on this one, is that whether or not, how good, whatever Penn State's record was, like they've showed up like that top team. Gronkmeyer played really good against our defense.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
He was really impressive, despite just similar numbers to Mendoza, and it just really came down to kind of who had the ball last and who was able to make that final play, and it was the Hoosiers, thankfully, with amazing 2-minute drill with Fernando.
You referenced Charlie Becker, unsung hero of this game.
Game MVP.
Arguably, we should have seen this coming. I didn't realize he lived with Fernando and Alberto.
Yeah.
But roommate. But 7 catches, 118 yards. Like, and some of the catches he was making, like just the difficulty. Like people are like, where the hell did this dude come from? Like we know exactly where that guy came from. He's a Nashville kid, and he was a Tom Allen guy.
With
an Ole Miss offer.
Yeah. Got him away from Lane. I mean, he's a really good player. He's super slippery. He's got a big catch radius from what it seems. And, yeah, sky's the limit. But, yeah, he's definitely the future
And he
of this
plays gunner.
offense. And he's going to – yeah, and
he's on kick return.
He's going to be a featured guy next year. I don't think he's going to be wide receiver 1. I think this team's probably going to try to load up to a point where Becker's probably going to be that wide receiver 3 next year. But it's good to know that we kind of already have some future roles starting to settle in, especially with kind of the emergence of Chuck Nasty, Chucky Becks,
Charlie B.
Gus
Johnson on the call was absolutely balling.
Yeah, I mean, he is he's a true outside guy. He's not a slot. He
was the only one who didn't work in the slot in spring ball.
Yeah, he's
all the receivers.
Yeah, he's very X or Z. He's great to have that coming back next year. As you know, this Coop's gone as of that play yesterday, and Threats gone, eligibility, and EJ Williams is gone, eligibility. So there's a lot of, and Johnny Brady's gone. So there's just a lot of room to, there's a lot of room to grow for him. And cool to see kind of LeBron Bond and Davion Chandler mixing in that game. Obviously not targeted, but they were in there. And it made it very obvious we were going to run the ball because I saw them in there at the same time. I was like, oh my, we're running it. And if Penn State should know.
I don't remember seeing them in there, but
they were in there. They had some snaps.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I did not see Baldwin. The defensive rotation was pretty tight.
As it needed to be. Penn State showed up. It was Trevor Pena, Ocean Township's own. You were giving him way too much glaze.
I said it yesterday. The kid was both ripping my heart out and like filling me with so much. Like I got my Ocean. This is actually my brother's, but I got my Ocean Spartans T-shirt on right now. Like hearing Ocean Township get mentioned on Fox, and just like obviously I knew it was coming because I know where Trevor Pena is from. But then like watching him go crazy and like powering Penn State's upset bid against Indiana, it was like really, of course, like on this day, like they finally have to force feed the kid the football. Like they haven't been doing that all year, but I don't know. I got into, I wouldn't say into it, but slight back and forth with Mark Rogers, voice of college football, about Colton Ecke's play calling in the last 6 minutes, and they really only had one drive because it was like Indiana had threw the pick or whatever, and then they scored or whatever, however it went in the back end there. What did you think of Penn State's play calling, especially on that final drive where they needed 2 first downs essentially?
I thought it was looking good. They were getting creative. They're throwing the ball short, which was throwing our defense off. So when they did run it, they were getting it in chunks. And then they kind of went away from that a little bit and just started running it strictly up the middle, and it just stopped working. And Indiana was eventually able to get the stop with great clock management by Signetti. I mean, they scored that touchdown with 38 seconds to spare and just moved the ball down so fast. So we know this team with 80 seconds left has the ability to march down the field and win with no timeouts. And that's an important thing to be able to do going into the CFP, where I think as the years go on, as you know, it's important to think big picture here as a perennial playoff team, because you know, if you've ever listened to this show, you know that that's where this show stands in terms of where Indiana's at as a program, and have been saying that for a while, since last year, I would say. And to be able to have that ability to score that quickly with no timeouts is only going to come in handy as time progresses and this team continues to compete for national titles. Because I believe teams in the future are just going to be just as prepared and as capable of getting the job done like this group. But they seem a little special, and it seems like this could be the year, which is really exciting.
Well, it has everything to do with Fernando Mendoza. Like you look at the 98 yards with my boys drive, you look at that drive and the way like Iowa and the way he played at Oregon after the pick, like that kid just locks in these big moments. And it's like very rarely do things happen by accident. And that dude's level of preparation and his ability to throw the football, is like the Indiana had no business winning. They got out coached, they got outplayed, like, and it happens. And sometimes that just happens in college football, and it's especially in the Big Ten. It's hard to win on the road, and it's hard to win in Beaver Stadium. But when you have a kid as special as Fernando Mendoza, that none of it matters. Just give him the football at the end of the game with a shot, and you're gonna have a shot. And I thought, regardless of what the final stats say, he was phenomenal yesterday.
Yeah, I think solidified himself as the number 1 overall pick, which I think is really exciting for him.
As the Jets went out and fucking won today.
Yeah. The Heisman is another story. He isn't putting up the numbers, keeping up with Sayin. So it really seems like it comes down to that game to where that's going to decide. Because if Mendoza had similar numbers to Sayin week in and week out, I think Mendoza would be a no-brainer, heavier favorite than what he is now. But with the number comparison, when you get down to it, resume on paper, Sayin has an argument at this point. So it's going to be curious. It's going to be interesting to see how that continues. Also, Marcel Reed, if A&M keeps winning, he's gonna be in. So, the final.
Jeremiah Love too. He's basically. I mean,
I think New York is probably going to end Sayin, Mendoza, Pavia, Marcel Reed, and Jeremiah Love. I think that's how it's going to end up in New York. Those 5, I think, are going to get the top 5 in votes.
I think I would echo that.
Yeah, I think I don't know what the order is going to be. I think there's too much time I think all those guys have a shot. I think they're all they can break in there, but I think Mendoza's got a lead. He has more moments, with Iowa and now Penn State. True Heisman moments. But in terms of a singular moment as well, like game-winning touchdown to Surratt, which probably wasn't as good by itself, but now with the game-winning drive in Penn State and that play to Cooper, it's
and he's got the go-ahead touchdown to Surratt in Austin.
And Gus Johnson called, he just said, give him the Heisman. So I think
what are you gonna tell? You're gonna tell Gus no?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's almost like he declared it already. So both look great for Fernando, where it looks like he's made himself a ton of money. So I couldn't think of anyone more deserving than a kid like that. So happy for him, proud of him. Just to keep it going, And I'm not worried about him seeing all the hype on Twitter. I don't think he's online too much, to be honest.
No, he literally only has LinkedIn.
Yeah, he's locked in. He just does community.
And I doubt he's even checking that right now. He's gonna have whatever opportunity he wants on the field or off the field after the season ends. So none of it really matters at this point. Which statistic surprises you more? The fact that what surprises you more? The fact that Indiana ran the ball for 3.5 yards a carry, or that Penn State was able to run the ball for 3.5 yards a carry? Because I thought Penn State on both sides of the line, especially in the third quarter and parts of the fourth quarter, were whooping Indiana. I mean, Sig said it himself.
It was a very even game. I think both stats don't surprise me all that much, to be honest. I think we knew Penn State had 2 NFL-ready backs. We knew it wasn't going to be our typical, we're holding teams to sub 1, sub 2 yards per carry. It wasn't going to be that type of game. Never was going to be like that. I think holding them to 3.5 is a big reason why we won. And it wasn't. Singleton had an amazing game. It was Katron last week, and then Singleton was the guy who really stepped up for State Penn this week. And they were super impressive and looked the part of a couple NFL guys for all you fantasy players out there.
Both those dudes were super, super impressive. And I thought Allen, he's not like Hemby, right? But in the same way where Hemby will turn a 3 or 4 yard loss into a 1 yard gain, and you're like, well, it's 2nd and 9. It's like, okay, but it's not 2nd and 14, right? It was a lot of that from both of those guys. And obviously Singleton had the big game, but I was really impressed with both those guys. Both those dudes are really, really good running backs. I wrote down at one point, Allen is the best running back in college football, ? And he didn't have a good game at all. But just watching those guys work, it's just that's impressive backs, both those guys. And I thought, like you said, like Gunkemeyer, whatever his name, his ability to layer the football, get the ball over the middle, like where he
He's a
was getting
problem.
Payne the football, like that. The fact that their team isn't better makes no sense. And then it's like, on one side I say that, and the other side I'm like, I can't believe they fired James Franklin. And it's like, well, that's why they fired James Franklin, because look at all the talent they have, and they aren't winning football games. It's like something's wrong. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a rats
Yeah,
decision or not. I do get it.
Yeah, it's they shouldn't have fired him. And I honestly think bad seasons happen, seasons get away from you. It's just the way it goes. I think they just heard all off season how good they were, and I don't think James Franklin did a good enough job of tempering expectations and making sure he wasn't being a watchdog for complacency, and that probably did him in the end. And yeah, as talented as they were, they're not able to keep it on a consistent basis because, probably preparation, something like that. But yeah, all credit to Penn State. I mean, they obviously showed up for a home game against a top 2 opponent. And
what do you think about Kobe Martin lining up as the fullback and getting the 4th down carry?
That was sick. I mean, all hands on deck. Good for him getting that, opportunity. Yeah, I guess a little fullback role. It's more like a pistol, 2-back invert. I don't know, different terminology for it, but yeah, that's definitely like a fullback dive type play, and he punched it in.
It's not quite running back.
Usually
in the
that would be going to
because,
Lee Beebe, so it's good that he's kind of finding that role potentially.
It's not quite running back in the slot, Brad. We have 2 regular season games, the Big Ten championship, and then what, three playoff games with the bye.
Dude, I felt so good about that bet because I just know it's the correct answer, and you just think it's going to happen. It's not going to happen.
What? Oh, the running back in the slot. Yeah. No, there's time. There's what? I got 7 more chances, 6 more chances.
They don't do that. They'll put it in Holden Stays at wide receiver before they put it in a running back out there.
It's gonna happen. It'll happen at least once.
All right. Whatever you say.
Do you want to talk Indiana on defense? Do you want to talk Indiana's offense first? Do you want to talk about the fact that Stephen Daly almost caught a running back pitch, which is one of the most athletic things I've ever seen?
Yeah, let's start on defense. I mean, we've already kind of spoken to kind of how Penn showed down those 2 running backs, and Penn State's offense played really well, and especially considering their stalls early on against a very good defense. I mean, it was just 2 complementary teams playing really complementary football with each other, and yeah, that's why it turned out to be an instant classic. I mean, both teams, that was a playoff game. And Indiana was able to pull it out and get it done. And credit to Penn State's offense, but Indiana's defense made enough plays to get it done. Like Daly almost caught that pitch. Fisher had an interception. Daly played unbelievable. He had an awesome game. I'm giving him a helmet sticker on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, I can't really. And yeah, it just seemed like Grunkmeyer was really uncomfortable, and they were getting after him. There's a couple times where Kamara had probably opportunities for roughing the passer, and he kept discipline and didn't do it. And yeah, just applying the pressure to him, and it was enough to get the job done. But yeah, I mean, you saw some missed tackles out there, but that just happened. Just 2 really talented teams. Like, I'm not really going to sweat it too much. The team played amazing. First time giving up multiple touchdowns in a game since the Old Dominion game. So wasn't their best performance from that sense in terms of they weren't dominant, but these things happen.
Actually, technically, it was their worst performance of the year.
Yeah.
Which is funny to think about. They gave up 24 points on the road in a tough environment. I would give Aiden Fisher a helmet sticker first and foremost, the interception off the deflection and the fumble recovery. I would give Tyreek Tucker a helmet sticker, who continues to prove he's one of, if not the best interior defensive lineman in the country. That dude, just like, and another guy who deserves a helmet sticker, Roe Hardy. Like those 2 guys, the 2 sacks in the game for Indiana, like just unbelievably good at football. Like Roe Hardy was everywhere in this game. His athleticism was ridiculous. Helmet sticker to D'Lo for chasing down, was it Allen or Singleton.
Singleton.
There's Singleton, right? For chasing
Yeah.
him down. And then a half a helmet sticker each for Bones and Sharp for combining on the fumble or the forced fumble.
Yeah, I feel like that was
First ever half a helmet sticker.
Yeah, basically just give it to the whole defense. I mean, they did it. They did pretty
Listen,
well.
when push came to shove, and I said it
They did
yesterday.
enough to get the job done. Like, I'm happy with the defense. I mean,
When Indiana needed to stop, they got to stop. When you knew Penn State was running the football and you needed to stop the run up the middle, even when they were running for 7 yards a carry, they figured out a way to get a stop. And Fisher was big in the interior defensive line. Ratcliffe had an awesome game. He's a guy who we don't really talk about a ton, who doesn't get play a ton of snaps, but he was super important. Wheeler, super important as well. Landino had a great game. I don't want to say great game, but like when it mattered, those guys all made plays. And so obviously
Radcliffe was out there a lot more than you typically see from them. But yeah, in terms of helmet stickers, Roe Hardy, Daly, and then for DB, I'm gonna have to go with Farrell. Really, I felt like had one of his better games, and it was nice of him to step up because I feel like he was out there making a ton of plays and flying around the field and just making
all the DBs I thought played well.
Yeah, they had a good overall, like I said, just super great, like complimentary football all around, and that extends to the defense despite giving up 3 touchdowns for the first time all year. And it's just you can't be perfect. So temper expectations a little bit. It's not always going to be 50, 55, 10, and they're still able to get it done. And super impressive from the defense and Brian Haynes' group.
Yep, and he was giving it to people on Twitter, which has become has become a post-game staple.
Yeah, Fisher with a pick and a fumble recovery. He's also gets a helmet sticker just for being around the ball.
He's always around the ball. Leroy Jenkins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Edward Catone extended highlights were phenomenal today. If you haven't got a chance to check those out for sure.
I'm gonna have to keep it.
So
I haven't gone through it yet. I was at the Indiana basketball game today, which is why I was scouting out our other boys who looked.
We'll talk about that, and so we'll talk Indiana hoops in a second.
Okay, we can talk a little bit about it, even though we promised we wouldn't. But that's a promise that will always and forever be broken.
We're gonna break the promise. They're playing well. Fuck it. I don't know what do you want from like that shit was fun, and I'm sorry, but we're gonna talk Indiana's offense first because this is a football show. And we just beat Penn State at home for the first time in football history. That's why I was making memes during the I actually took they're all in the room right now, so I don't want to say it because I'll freak out. But I took the DOGs on we're just and so I missed the part where Indiana like the start of the second half where they really went like guns blazing. So I feel kind of disconnected from the game. But man, yeah, they're fucking good. But I was making memes about Indiana football while the basketball game was going on. Like, dude, I'm locked in on Indiana football, bro. That's why I want to. And it's popping off. Like I'm gonna pat myself on the back. It's what some of my best work. This Indiana Ohio State meme. So I'm having a good time. Let's talk offense, Brad, because it wasn't pretty at times. But like we already heaped a ton of praise on Charlie Becker and Omar Cooper. Like those two guys specifically stepped up big time.
Yeah, a lot of sacks, probably the most sacks given up all year by the O-line, but we knew how good this D-line was. Probably, obviously, it wasn't the same result as like in Iowa and Oregon where it seemed like they played a lot better, but Penn State's at that level.
Like, yeah, I would wager this is the first time all year they lost the sack battle.
When we're talking mono matchups in a given day, Penn State can match up with us on that front, and they did.
Athletically, for sure.
Yeah, it was just, a good push and shove matchup. Like, there were times we won and there were times they won. Like, it was very evenly fought, especially, I'd say dominated by us in the first half, and then toward the beginning of the second half to the middle of the fourth, or basically toward the end of the fourth, Penn State was probably, had a slight edge on us, and the O-line was just able to get enough done. Mendoza had a, fully airborne, getting hit by 2 guys, make the game-winning touchdown pass. So it's hard for me to just be like, oh, the O-line played amazing. Like, it it was ugly, but they did enough, right? And
Yeah,
that's really what's
it's
important.
not going to be like you said. It's not going to be pretty when you
Mhm.
go against a team like we watched against Iowa. It's like we like to look at our team, right, and be super confident, like this is how we execute and all that. But then it's like you have to think about who's on the other side of the football. It's like when you play against these really talented teams, like Jim Knowles just won the national championship last year. Like you don't think he's going to figure out some way to put his guys in a position to cause some havoc? Like they're going to make some plays. Like they have athletes. Like even on the interception that Mendoza threw, like I think it was Cooper on the or Becker over. I couldn't even see who he was targeting over there, but that kid broke on that from the middle of the field. Like it was a really nice play. I'm not making an
Yeah, you're
excuse, but
showing it to EJ. EJ probably should have attacked the ball a little bit better, but his momentum was going out of bounds. So I'll give him a pass, but probably should have tried to attack the ball in the air to prevent kind of a DB coming in like that underneath. But yeah, I mean, Mendoza probably shouldn't have just thrown the ball in general. That was a bad decision. He was
wasn't a
holding
great
on there for
decision.
too long. Everyone was covered, and probably should have just ran it or thrown it out of bounds. I would have been fine with that. But it is what it is, and they figured out a way. He made up for it with a hell of a play. Helmet sticker to Mendoza, Cooper, Noah Kowski.
Oh, I mean, easy helmet sticker to Mendoza to Becker to Cooper to Nowakowski.
Those four. That's what I'm getting
to
into.
Black. I thought Black was really, really good. Hemby had a really good game as well. I thought.
Hemby played well. I mean, yeah, they did enough. Black was doing his job in short yardage situations.
And in pass pro, like they weren't perfect, but they were good enough.
Yeah, Hemby, the running backs played well. It was really, it was great. But I'm not necessarily giving them helmet stickers, Keezer. Just because you played well doesn't mean you get a helmet sticker. We gotta put
That's
some.
fair. You could tell at certain points in the middle there that they miss Surratt and his ability to just get open and his short, like his route running, just all the things he brings to their offense and his ability to beat one-on-one and catch back shoulders and all that stuff. Like you could tell that was something they were missing.
They probably win by 3 touchdowns if they have Surratt because they don't have that offensive lulls. Like when they need a first down on third and long, like they didn't have Surratt.
Exactly.
Like they rely on Becker and Cooper, and it just wasn't as efficient as it would be if Surratt's out there with those other two guys. Yeah, just fantastic way to kind of step up, and obviously slight drop off in the pass game, but did enough. Charlie Becker played fantastic. He's the game MVP. I don't think they win without Charlie Becker making all those plays and do really good contested catches, as well as the big gainer early on the deep ball for his first catch, which was like a 53-yarder. And yeah, he had a
game MVP is the dude delivering the footballs, my friend.
No, Charlie Becker was game MVP.
Game MVP was Fernando Mendoza for sure. I'd be interested to see what the people think, whether it's on Twitter, or on YouTube, or whatever, wherever you're leaving your comments. I'd be interested to see.
Delivered that hell of a throw, but I mean,
well, no, it's not even. It's the drive. It's the whole drive. Like, because it's like, okay, who hit Cooper over the middle? And I think actually, if you're going to give it to a receiver, it has to be Cooper. Step up, like person who stepped up the most, Becker. If you want to give 2 game balls, Becker gets the second one for sure, hands down. But if you're going to give 1. Well, maybe if you're going to give 3 game balls, but if Cooper caught the game-winning touchdown, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
he floated it in the.
Who caught the one to put it in first and goal? I mean,
you're right. You're absolutely right. You're right.
He had a drop in this game. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. Like it wasn't
Dave Roberts can't steal second base if Kevin Millar doesn't walk.
That's arguing for Becker because he set up the Cooper touchdown.
Yeah, you got to score though.
Well, yeah.
Neither of those guys were game MVP though.
It was Mendoza. I mean, yeah, like I said, he solidified himself as a first overall pick and potential Heisman winner. It's it feels good to be right because it's like I've been saying this all year, so there's not much to be.
Oh, and somebody we haven't talked about that I want to give a shout out to.
He's not a lot of I say Andrew Luck, but he's obviously he's his own player, so he's not fully Andrew Luck. He's got a lot of Baker Mayfield in his game. Obviously nowhere near the same kind of body type and physicality that Baker brings, but He's got a
Dude,
lot
he
of
reminds me of.
in this game.
It's such a bad. It's not a great comp because his moxie is in a different spot, right? And he's a winner, so and he wins in big moments. But he has so much Tony Romo in him. It's crazy.
Tony Romo. Yeah, he
Dude,
does a little bit. He does. I see
he
it.
does. Where he just like it almost feels like you need to hit him 2 or 3 times before he starts playing really well, and he like almost like he wants to he wants to take the big shot to throw the big ball. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that is I see it and like there are like I see Luck and I see like obviously the greats and the way he releases the foot, like he's a much better thrower, pure thrower than Romo. But like
Oh, sure.
in terms of like that mentality of like I'm just gonna stand in the pocket and this is my pocket. I don't care what's happening around me. Is yeah, I see Romo. For better or for worse.
Yeah, there's a lot of comps to throw around when it comes to Mendoza. I think that the Baker comp really comes from that. Like Romo is like, I like that because it's like he craves the contact. Like he does have Romo in that sense, but like
Romo,
Baker
he's like
for me was more
if
so.
Trevor Lawrence and Tony Romo had a child, that would be
Yeah, like
Mendoza.
Mendoza is like Baker in the sense where it's. I think their IQs are actually very, very similar. I think Baker is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league right now, and his ability to win that Rams game on like 2 days' notice,
I
starting.
don't know. They're just different. They're so different for me.
Yeah, but like in those clutch moments, like they have the cojones to like make the big play because they know how, because they're smart and they're just willing to take chances and they trust their arm. I think that gunslinger. Romo is also a gunslinger, so that checks out. But like Romo,
he's so much more athletic.
Baker
He's in a
Mayfield.
bigger body. You know what I mean?
Ooh, Baker's
Mendoza.
so athletic. Don't diss Baker like that. Baker can run.
Mendoza than Romo. And Baker is more athletic than Mendoza.
Oh yeah.
But I'm
Right.
saying, like, I'm just saying in terms of just like the toughness standing in the
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah.
I want to shout out Ademola Ajani.
Yeah, he started.
He started first career start in Beaver Stadium, and he's out there in the trenches battling, doing his thing. True sophomore, just a Bosted guy. And people thought like the
he's a
broadcast thought
redshirt
that
freshman actually. Keezer.
did he redshirt?
Yeah, he's a redshirt.
Nice. People or the broadcast was saying that Mikowski was hurt or dealing with something, and if he was, like that's not something we heard about. Like this was, I seemed to be performance based.
Well, he had to come in because Benson got hurt, so it all worked.
Yeah, exactly. We saw Mikowski in this game.
No, they're all banged up, and they're all
Everybody's banged up.
It's just about getting healthy these next 3 weeks. Thank God the bye could not come sooner enough, but yet another game this week. We're so close to the bye week extravaganza.
It's hard to tell with Benson sometimes because Benson, like they carry him off and it looks like he's like never gonna play again, and then he just comes out and he's nails for a whole half of football, and it's like like those like split seconds where somebody rolls up on you, or you just never know, or you never know the pain that guy's feeling, but he's one of those guys where it's like you got to wait and see if he's coming back in first because he usually toughs it out and comes back in. It's happened a couple of times now.
I mean, think about like all the guys that are hurt. Obviously, like Mendoza and the running backs are all banged up, and they're like bumps.
Dude, it's November in the Big Ten.
But like in terms of like Surratt and EJ have missed time this year. On the O line, it's Drew Evans and now Zen Mikowski and now Khalil Benson have all missed time due to injury. We've had to go to O line 7, which is the Johnny, which is something we almost expected considering what happened last year, but obviously wasn't asked upon. We don't want to throw in redshirt freshmen into big spots when we have 6 veteran O linemen already, right? Mm-hmm. You want to have that experience, but Hajani is able to fill in the gaps, and guys have been stepping up all year. And then go on the defensive side of the ball, who's all banged up, right? Kamara has the shoulder thing. Wyatt's out for the year. I didn't even bring up Lee Beebe for the running backs being out for the year as well. And yeah,
well, I mean, like even further, Pons missed a game.
Yeah, Pons is banged up.
Gets chewed out once a game for toughness for whatever reasons.
Yeah, and these guys, we're banged up. We're limping in. We need this bye week sooner rather than later. But yeah, we got Wisconsin now going back home for the last home game, senior day. So that'll be really exciting. We'll do a senior day shout out like we did last year for the show. And
it'll be a long show. There's a lot.
Yeah, it was insane.
Who's sticking around? Maybe we'll do the smoke. At some point, we'll do a Smokies.
Yeah, do you think Fernando does senior day? I feel like it's way too early for him to like run out there. And I think Sig only threw out actual seniors last year.
Didn't Aiden Fisher participate in senior day last year?
He might have.
I might be making that up. Like, I thought all those guys. Kamara did.
Yeah, Kamara did. That's why it was so awesome when he decided to come back. It's like
so awesome. That was a Christmas present. It was that, and then I can't remember which one happened first, but I remember when Mendoza committed, and I was like, it happened early in the morning, and I woke up.
It was on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and I woke up and I looked at my phone and I just started screaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's good times.
Oh yeah,
good times. Special teams too. Radicic helmet sticker. He's nails all the time. I don't know what was up with the kicking game. Quinn Warren did not have his best game of the season. Was able to, for the most part, was fine, but I mean, kicked one of them out of bounds. The squib at the end, I'm not sure if that was like a Grant Kane Signetti call. I would imagine that has to be. I hope that wasn't a Quinn Warren call. I doubt that was a Quinn Warren call, but and then the like give and take with McCarthy and the punt game, but Radicic is nails. Kids nails. And it's so nice to be able to rely on a kicker like that where you just don't have to worry.
Yeah, there's still a 7, but that's fine. It's cool.
I mean, that's without Frankie, maybe like that's the first time I've seen a kick go out of bounds, and I'm sure it's happened this year.
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that we have this insane line. We have a really good punt return game. Haven't really seen it. Feels like it's been neutralized.
Well, I mean, heads up play of the game was Johnny Brady pretending like he's about to catch the ball in the 25 and it bounces in the 5 and lands in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, this team
phenomenal coaching, but you still got to make the play in the game. Yeah. And then they came out and get sacked in the 5. What were your thoughts? What was going through your head when they get sacked? It's like 80 yards. All right, cool. Like we have to go 80, no timeouts. First place.
88.
89.
Yeah, basically. It's yeah, it was basically like, all right, this is gonna be tough to handle. But I mean, I still believed at that point that they can at least try.
I was gonna say, here's my follow-up before you finish. Here's my follow-up before you finish. What was your daunted meter? Like if like 0 was like never daunted, which is where I was, where were you?
Yeah, you were never daunted. You were at a 0.
I mean, you could go check the tweets. Check the tweets. Every time we touch the football, I was like, we're getting it back. I was like, we're getting to stop. We're getting it back. We're getting to stop. We're getting it back. We're getting to stop. I was like, I don't know. I didn't waver. Why would I waver?
Daunted me, I was probably at a 1.
A 1?
I was worried for a little bit there. I
didn't say I didn't get nervous for a second.
I was a little worried when they got that first down after we punted. Like, remember we had the
I was a little nervous when Sig called the timeout and then they got the first down.
When they got the first down on that, I got a little nervous. It was that moment. And then they eventually got the stop. And then I wasn't nervous again. Once we got the ball back, I was feeling good. Didn't matter that we didn't have any timeouts left. Yeah, I started feeling good on 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 11 on the downage when they eventually got the stop. Is when stopped being at a 1 and I was back to a 0.
There may have been a little bit. I mean, it never moved off of 0.
Yeah.
But you know,
how, like when he got sacked. Here's my
life. Like I'm not gonna when Signetti called the first time out and then they gave up the first down. I was like, what in the F did I just watch? And then I like realized football brain like took a second, obviously, because it's not as like nowhere near Signetti. So like I'm not like as like on these things. So when like I realized like, oh my God, obviously guy's a genius. Why would I even question that? Like daunted meter never even like the power came on. So it's like, oh my God, like it's powering up but it never moved.
Yeah. I would say when he got sacked, it was more so like, let's get back to the ball more so than like,
exactly.
Right. It was like, let's get back.
He had another chance to get the ball in Fernando's hand. And then when he hit Coop on the seam, it was like, all right, like it's
Like
Here it
response.
comes. Here it
He got
comes.
the first down on the next play. Yeah, it was great. The will with all of this team is insane.
They just find a way to win.
Yeah, and it feels like our tough stretch is over because I would say like Wisconsin and Purdue, eye test wise, probably the two worst teams in the conference.
Yeah, and also for the Heisman Mendoza campaign, the one thing that Wisconsin does really well is defend the run, and they're keeping their coaching staff for next year, at least as of now. And so they're going to air it out.
Yeah, Mendoza is at
He's the favorite right now, at least on
2,300 with 26, 2 to go. So, I mean, what would be really nice is a couple 300-yard games from him to get him to that 3,000 mark and probably get up to 35.
They count the Big Ten championship game, do they not?
If he can get to 40 total touchdowns and 3,000 passing yards, he is going to win the Heisman.
Yeah, but how many? When's the cutoff? When's the cutoff?
Before the Big Ten championship game.
Before the Big Ten championship game?
Yeah.
So you think if
I still think he can win the Heisman
if he
doesn't hit. I still think he can win the Heisman if he doesn't hit those marks.
Yeah, Brad. I think if he throws 14 touchdowns in the next 2 weeks, he probably wins the Heisman.
I said total touchdowns, so he has his rushing touchdowns. That's only asking for 9 touchdowns accounted for in 2 games against Purdue and Wisconsin.
He's at 20. Oh, all right. Total touchdowns. Okay.
Yeah, because that includes rushing.
What's he at now? So he's at 31?
I think he's at 31.
He's not getting to 40 before the Big Ten championship game.
Yes,
not with the way they spread the ball around. Kobe Martin's more likely to score 9 touchdowns the next 2 weeks.
They're going to score like 20 touchdowns the next 2 weeks. Next 2 games. Yeah.
But it's going to be like, let's see what the young guys
He only needs 9 of those.
We'll see.
I think it's pretty like, it's steep. It's basically asking for 300 a game and 4.5 tut he's responsible for per game. I don't think that's crazy for Fernando Mendoza. He's put up games.
I don't think it's crazy either. I just don't think, based on the track record of this team, that's going to happen. Which isn't. I don't say that for that to be a bad thing. I said just like there's so much talent on this team that they don't like. They just don't have like when you hand the ball off and then the guy runs for 15 yards a clip. You're all right. Well, I guess I don't have to like throw the ball 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? Like it's just like you don't have to do these things.
The other way to lock in the Heisman would be winning the Big Ten championship game. So I think we should just get our sights on.
You said before the Heisman though, like all those. It's all.
I said that's a way for him to lock in the Heisman.
Yeah, but I asked you when do they stop counting stats for the like when is the vote?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
And it's after the Big Ten championship game because they do it after the Army-Navy game, which is
but they don't count the postseason. So he's got 3 games. So if it's 3-3-3, he's gonna get the 40 total touchdowns easy.
Yeah, but that's not enough in 13 games to justify to like lock it in. Anyways,
what are your closing thoughts on Penn State?
Historical win, best win of all time.
You think that's the best? That's not better than the Oregon win.
The next win is the best win of all time as we're on our championship run, Keezer.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll accept that.
Yes,
my closing thought is
the Oregon win is the best win of all time. Yes.
My closing thought on this week is if your takeaway from this game is Indiana got exposed or that they're frauds, then you just don't understand football. And that's okay. And that's what I got.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with narratives talking about how Indiana shouldn't look great on this win because Penn State's 3-6. But like, yeah,
that's just ignoring, and it's like there's a lot of people. There's 2 contingents. There's the Ohio State fans and the people like them who are their own separate bucket, and there's like the people from the SEC who don't understand that like when people make fun of the SEC for saying like the Mississippi States and all that would beat every other team in the country. It's like part of that is like, yeah, well, people are saying the same thing about Northwestern, but you laugh at them. You know what I mean?
Penn State could beat half of the big SEC teams tomorrow. They would need
Exactly. So it's like
to.
the joke has been lost. The joke has been completely lost, and that's where we're at. But
Penn State's capable of beating anyone in the country, just personnel-wise. With the talent they have on the field, they can match up with anyone. And it showed on Saturday. Credits to them. Indiana escaped. Didn't matter. That's my closing thought. And, yeah, that should be the only takeaway.
Indiana won. It came down to who had the – well, it didn't come down to who had the football last. But when it mattered most, Indiana made plays and Penn State didn't.
Exactly.
Do you want to talk about how the college football playoff rankings are going to shake up the next time we go live on Tuesday? I like how Tuesday nights are now like the first.
Because
our show is just going to be powered by the college football playoff.
Yeah, so
at least for the first half,
they're not going to change.
Virginia lost and Louisville lost.
Well, then that moves Georgia Tech into the field. Memphis lost, so they're out of the field. But like that top 10 is going to remain the same in terms of seeds. So,
well, BYU lost too.
True. So that means Texas is in because they won or didn't play or something.
So Ohio State won, obviously, and did and we need to take a second, and I can't believe it's been 51 minutes and we haven't done this yet. But to shout out the sportsmanship exuded by the Ohio State University for not running it up on our friends over at Purdue University. Like just a round of applause. If I had a hat, I'd tip it. Like to not run it up on Purdue. Really great stuff, guys. Really, like it's sportsmanship is real. Chivalry is not dead. Shout out to the Buckeyes. But they went out into Purdue and put up less points than Notre Dame, and I think Illinois went in there. Who else? Somebody else went in there and fucking whooped them too. But obviously Indiana won, A&M won, Bama won, Georgia won, Ole Miss won, BYU lost, Tech won, Oregon won in a close game, in a dogfight, in a very classic Big Ten game where Herb Street almost nailed it. Herb Street was like, it's going to be 15-14 at some point, and you're going to be like, how'd we get to 15-14? And it was 15-7 at one point. And I was like, that son of a bitch. Can't believe he nailed that.
You did nail it. It was
crazy.
Yeah, that game went exactly how I expected. Like Oregon wins, but Iowa makes it super weird for them.
And then Notre Dame showed just no respect for the troops and just obliterated Navy.
I mean, they did the same thing last year.
It's just disgusting. Do you want to look at the slate, or do you just want to leave it?
The slate?
The slate.
I mean, I think everyone knows what happened.
No, I'm cool with that. We could get out of here.
It's good stuff. I mean, we never really recap the slate. We're supposed to talk about basketball.
Oh, wait, that's what we needed to do. I was like, we're missing something. Yeah, let's talk hoops. Because I know we said we were going to backburn our hoops until the Big Ten season started, but like they just shot 14 of 28 from three. Like what the fuck?
We don't have to talk about it too much, but I think it's important to just acknowledge how well they're playing and how good it looks early on, just kind of running sets, playing intensity. Like they're not the most talented on-ball defenders, but I think they're going to do enough considering how well they score the ball to compete at a very high level in the league. And
it's about effort.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll just see how it continues to go. Obviously, it would be nice to have some more depth. I think Dorn being added, I think he's going to make a big impact in this lineup. But I think the 8 that's going right now plus Dorn that's going to be the core moving forward. We'll see if a guy like Ristich or Drake are able to break in, but I think going into the tournament, that 9 are going to be the kind of the key core throughout that tournament run, because I imagine Connerway and Enright, and they're going to have heavy minutes in this tournament, as it's really the 6, the starting 5 and Alexis. They've played a lot of basketball, and it's showing up. They shoot the lights out of it. They defend. They play with effort. Like they're fun to watch.
they're fun to watch, and that's like it is like coming off this week. If you're just a pure Indiana sports fan, like I have no idea what the Pacers are like, and obviously like you're looking at that team differently without Halliburton, but Indiana football wins. The Colts won this morning, and obviously that was like rake your eyes out type game based on like what people were saying on Twitter. And then Indiana basketball goes into Chicago and beats Marquette by 30, puts up 100 points, and just like, oh yeah, like what are we watching, Brad? Like this is what we didn't get anything like this when we were students.
We're watching a team that's going to contend for in the Big Ten. They're going to hang around. They're going to be a frisky team. They're a tournament team. I think that's the one thing that really sticks out. And the problem with a lot of the other teams in the past 8 years, I would say, is that I don't think that was ever like confirmed for me. Besides maybe the Jalen Hood-Schifino year, where they looked the part, they had all their roles figured out, and they were all very good at their roles. And that's why this team feels like a tournament team so early, because it feels like they know exactly what needs to get done to win so early on.
I was going to say they're
starting out fast. And that's something we haven't seen from a team yet in as long as I've been watching Indiana hoops regularly.
They showed the graphic of like how the last 3 coaches or the last 2 coaches had done in their debuts, and obviously like we were there for Archie, and we were in the building for Archie, our first game as students, losing to Indiana State in the way they did, and then Woodson barely escaping against Eastern Michigan. And then you look at what Indiana does to Alabama A&M, and they just shoot the lights out of it in assembly. And it's like, yeah, this team's going to be a little bit. This team's going to be a little bit different. I don't know if you could see the top of his head over here.
Yeah, it's under. My eyes are good, but not that good. But yeah, the basketball team, Sisley is I'll just break it down, right? All right. What I'm seeing early, because basketball is like such an eye test. Like when I say I master the eye test,
master of the eye test. Well, I'll
that really translates to basketball. And I have a lot of takes already about a lot of these insane freshman class so far in hoops. By the way, insane group of freshmen that have come in. Boozer, that Snack kid at Houston, Peterson at Kansas. Those guys are gonna make money playing pro ball, is what I know. Lots of it, especially Snack. He's really good. Position by position, Connor Enright is going to be the glue guy on this team. He's not going to take a ton of shots, but he's going to take charges, do the right things, and really be a catalyst for success for this ball club and an important piece. He's played a lot of basketball. Tayton Connerway, legit Big Ten point guard, can do it all. Does everything good, nothing too great, but a well-rounded Big Ten point guard in that sense. Like when I say good, like that's at the Big Ten level. He was Sun Belt Player of the Year. He's looking the part. We got 2 microwaves in Lamar Wilkerson and DeVries. They're going to be our 2 leading scorers this year by far. But I think both of them are probably going to end up averaging around like 18 for the year, maybe more. They're starting out really good, so we'll see with them. And then obviously Reed Bailey at the 5. He's a true 4, but he's going to be playing the 5 with this team. Underrated athleticism on this guy. He's it seems like he dunks everything. And he
had a breakaway dunk or a dunk in the first game where it looked like he jumped too far to the right side of the basket. He dunked it with his left hand on the other side. I was like, how do you even get over there?
Yeah, they're very athletic, but they're all very average on-ball defenders, which is a little frustrating, but it means they can team rebound when it comes to a pinch, and it seems like they've been doing a great job of doing that so far this year, leveraging that.
I mean, Connerway is a pit bull.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Sisley, Sam Alexis is going to be probably one of the best 6th men in the conference this year. I think he's going to be a walking double-double off the bench. He's, that 6'8" frame, but, like, don't worry, he's got a 7'4" wingspan. So he's that true 5. I would like to see – I didn't see it today, but they do Alexis and Sisley a lot, and that's nice having the 2 big lineup. But it would be cool to maybe see Alexis and Reed Bailey on the floor down the stretch. I'd be interested to see what they do with that. And then Sisley is a freshman but looks
that's
really
probably good. That's probably a foul trouble thing, because if you lose one of them, you're like they're the only 2 guys really who can play center.
Yeah, but that, like, the math doesn't check out for that anyways. I get what you're saying, but I think we could play them at the same time. It's not that just don't foul. They need to stop fouling. That's why I was saying they're bad on ball defenders. That's why they're fouling so much. Like the refs
It was a little ref show.
They're calling it. They're calling it how
especially
they called
early.
it. But like we were swiping, we were being lackadaisical, not getting in position. Like that. That's how they call in the tournament. And this team's got to be ready for it. They got to figure it out. But yeah, like I said, they are athletic enough to figure it out, and it just wasn't a good day. And they do a great job of recovering when they do get beat off the dribble, which happens a lot. But yeah, they're team-wise, like I think DeVries teams historically are very good defensively, so I'm not worried that they're not going to finish up top 40 in Ken Palm in defensive efficiency. Like they're still going to be top of the college basketball echelon in defense. It's just like they're not Houston by any means. Like let's not get it twisted, right? You know what I mean? So that's my temp check on the team. And obviously Miles and Dorn are going to be those long athletic wings that are going to fit in really nicely with this team in terms of the potential versatility that they can bring with Miles. Seeing him in person, that he looks 6'8". Sisley looks actually like 6'10". Or Alexis is just a lot shorter than we're putting on. But yeah, those guys look very long, and I think Nick Dorn's listed at 6'8" as well. So he should be another versatile guard forward type player. And they can bring on a lot of depth. I'm excited to see like a Jason Drake maybe come in and risk it.
Isn't there like a 6'11" dude just floating around who a late add to the roster? Like,
yeah, but he's
Ristich isn't Ristich isn't that big.
Amisevic. Yeah. He's he's supposed to be the next Joker, but he's
according
he
to
doesn't play. He's not hurt, and he hasn't played in like when they clear the bench. So I'm just curious. Maybe it's like secret. We were joking around. Maybe he's the secret weapon, but yeah, I don't really have any takes on him.
He's like Indiana's silent count. It's like we don't know if we need it against Iowa, so we haven't used it yet.
It's funny because like when DeVries took over, he was saying how like I'm going to build a really good team. And so far the promise, like that exact kind of way of articulating it is kind of what this team is. Like they have their roles pretty figured out already, and they're all really good at their role, which is really exciting about this team. They may not be the most talented team on paper. And so playing in this NIL era, we could see a little maybe stopgap when they face, like I was looking at some of those Duke rotations and kind of those top, 5 on Ken Palm. Like, can they hang? Do they have the depth to hang with them? We'll see. It's more so they have guys that fill different roles. So we'll see when they play like a Kentucky, just how good they are on the road. And they might surprise me, but, there could be, like, I think they're really good. I think they'll compete and win a lot of games this year. I think they'll get to that 20-win mark, no problem. We'll see how they do against a team like Kentucky when they play Purdue and they play Michigan this year. We'll see. That just remains to be seen. I think, it's basketball. It's kids shooting hoops, and sometimes we forget about all that.
Basketball temp check, Brad. The team is fun. The
team is fun. And, yeah, in terms of setting any, like, expectations on them, I think it's too soon. But, yeah, they should be in line to get 20 wins and make the tournament. So I like what I'm seeing so far.
I love it. That'll be it for us, Brad, unless you have any closing thoughts or unless anything jumped out at you from the greater slate this weekend.
I mean, it's just been great being me. Bears are now 6-3. Dodgers World Series. Hoosiers are 10-0. Hoosier Hoops are 2-0. Yeah, it's great being me, and yeah.
Yeah, go Jags, right?
Don't let me get hot. Jags lost today, and then UCLA Hoops aren't looking too good, and UCLA football lost to Nebraska. So it's like my past is.
That's why you got to shed your skin.
Not looking back. But yeah, no, obviously I still follow those teams, but they weren't doing as well.
I love it. It's the year of Brad. It was the summer of Brad, and it's turned into the fall of Brad, and hopefully it's the winter of Brad, and just keep it going.
Spring of Brad, it's just going to continue.
Just ride the wave. Well, listen, when you have Shohei on $2 million a year, like it's all coming up, Brad.
Is that a jab? Like, everyone he offered that. That was the contract he wanted, and Jay's
I'm saying that's a good thing. Like the fact that you're paying it was supposed to be a good thing. I don't know. It was like the least significant part of the whole. I don't know. You can
I'm
If
just
you're
making sure.
watching on
I'm just
Twitter, hop on over to
you know, I
YouTube.
get a
You
little
can
heated when
subscribe.
people, try to take jabs at my Dodgers. It happens a lot. So if
Subscribe
I'm
to
a little
Indiana
testy,
at the
I
Voice of College
apologize.
Football on YouTube. Brad and I'll be back on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. with the original background. I'm not sure what happened. I think I need to update my computer.
I like the
Something-
confetti though. It's fun.
I don't know. The confetti is kind of cool. It's a big win. First time in program history. So maybe the confetti fits.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can follow us if you're watching on the Sigs Inside Twitter account. Follow the Indiana Voice of College Football account at Indiana VOCFB. You can follow me at Alec Keyser. Follow Brad at Bradley_Loomis8. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok kind of, but yeah, we're on Twitter mainly. So just, come hang out. And we'll be live again on Tuesday. So appreciate you guys hanging out on Sunday night. Yeah, we'll be back
What a
on
week to be a
Tuesday.
Hoosier.
What a week to be a Hoosier.
IU soccer slowed down, but we know they're going to be
football.
ready for the tournament, so I'm not too worried about that group. But we'll cover them more when they. I gotta figure that out. I gotta get more on that because I think it's coming around tournament time for IU soccer.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave IU soccer to you, but your Indiana football Hoosiers are 10-0, coming back home to Bloomington for senior day. We'll break it all down on Tuesday night. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Go Hoosiers.